to start asking. Okay. Instead of ending on silence there, I want to start asking questions. Great salesmen ask great questions. Go watch the newest training I posted on the featured trainings to kind of learn more about this. But I want to start taking control of the process. If I just go, yeah, we're doing it for half off, and then smile and head nod, it just creates this awkward tension of like, hey, what does the customer say? As opposed to saying, yeah, do you guys have somebody yet or still not yet? Now I know if it's going to be a switchover scenario or if it's going to be a DIY or like a fresh start scenario, which is good because both of those pitches will be slightly different. The next part of the sales process, and hopefully you guys have this script. If not, I can resend it to Yogi, or Yogi and Mitch should have that. I'll send it to them one more time in case you guys need it. After that, we do what's called like a needs audit, or we're asking questions, we're finding out problems. Now, some of you guys will find out like, oh, dude, there's not a lot of problems. Some of these people don't have big issues, and that's okay. We can create issues. So in sales, if there's no problem, there's no solution. We need to help them find out, we need to help them realize that there's a problem for them to be more open to us buying. After we have created a problem, told them that there is a problem, we've got to transition into our service. That's where switchovers, we're going to compare and contrast. We're going to minimize them. We're going to maximize us and tell them why there's a benefit there. After that, we go through the pricing, the redirect, and the closing, like we went over last time. Then we'll go over the agreement. Then we get them to sign that agreement. And then we get a credit card or ACH, whatever you guys are doing right now. So I'm just giving you guys a little bit of roadmap of a sale. And what I just went over is found on page 4 of the script. Okay. But today I do want to hone in a little bit on those smoke screens and a little bit on smoke screens, a little bit of switchovers. Because a lot of you guys will get discouraged if you're like, yeah, do you guys have a company yet or still not yet? And they're like, oh yeah, we got somebody, we're good, we're good, we're good. Guys, I promise you, a lot of these people are extremely sellable. But the knee-jerk reaction when you knock on their door is, hey, we're good. We don't need it. We're awesome. Well, dude, you can't blame them. They were just living life inside their home. It's your job as a salesman to get engagement. Okay. So I'll show you guys an example. I'll stand up for this one. I'll show you guys an example of what that could look like. Okay. So I go knock, knock, knock. I get the smoke screen. They're like, hey, dude, we're good, Austin. We're good. We don't need anything right now. I'm like, hey, dude, no stress. You didn't expect me to come by today. I didn't expect you to wake up thinking about pest control. Let me just show you what we're doing over here. Come look at this right here. And I'm going to walk and turn. It's like the walk of faith. Okay. You'll be shocked at how many people you can get outside of their door if you just go, hey, no worries. I'm busy too. I'll be incredibly quick with you, man. I'll just show you this right here. Come look at this. We're just taking care of all the bugs right here. These spiders, they've been getting pretty bad. So I'm going to try to physically move a customer right off the rip in the very beginning of my introduction. The reason I'm going to do that is because once they step outside that door, you've now got their full attention. So one little nugget, if you're struggling as a rookie, see if you can get people outside the door. After you've said who, what, why, you'll be like, yeah, so I'm sure you know Susie. Come, you know her like right down the road, right? Like here, this house right here. Can you see? And you just try to get them outside the door. So that's a little nugget for my rookies as you guys start selling. Okay, but with smoke screens, let's talk about the psychology behind this. Buyers are liars. They will tell you things that are not true. When they say, hey, I'm busy right now, as the great Bridger Swalfer says, go yard. There we go. Um, they're gonna tell stuff to you that they don't actually mean. But if you give it full attention, if you totally buy in that they're busy and that they've got a meeting, or they're in a meeting right now, then you won't sell them. Okay. So I promise you, if they answer the door, they're probably not doing anything that important. Okay. You'll be able to read their body language. So first thing, when you guys get hit with a smoke screen, quick little formula, you're gonna just do a quick micro validation. Hey, totally, I hear you. Awesome. Gotcha. Perfect. That's exactly why I'm here. So everybody write some of those down in their notes. Totally. Gotcha. Perfect. Awesome. That's exactly why I'm here. The goat of all smoke screens, for the way for you to overcome is, hey, that's actually exactly why I'm here. No matter what they say, you can say, hey, that's exactly why I'm here. Hey, I'm super busy. Hey, that's exactly why I'm here. I'm busy too. I'm actually doing the bug control in your guys' neighborhood. Mainly been people switching over from EcoShield and Adaptiva. Who do you guys end up having? Who did you guys have for you this year? Okay, cool. So you just throw out like, yeah, most people were with Moxie or with Anthem before they switched over to me. Who do you have coming out for you this year? Okay. So then I'm starting to ask questions to keep control of the conversation. Thumbs up if that makes sense, right? Type in something that you've learned thus far in your guys's in this call so far. Type in one thing in the chat that you've learned. And I'm gonna start seeing some come through. I'll read them off. Okay, guys. So in the introduction, you cannot take these smoke screens seriously. Give it a walk of faith after you kind of get through your introduction. And we're gonna get into switchovers really quick. Okay, I just want you guys to know buyers are liars. If you believe everything that they say, you will not get very, very far in your pitch. I have some one-liners that we can use after some of these smoke screens. DM me the word smoke screen on Instagram and I can shoot all of them to you after the call. Okay. But that way, and I can actually text them to Yogi and Mitch here in a minute too when we start doing some role plays here with people on this call that are face on. Okay. But let's just go straight into switchovers. Okay. When you say, do you have a company yet or still not yet? The first thing that I want to do is I want to just find out what company they're with, how long they've been with them for. And then my favorite question to ask is what bugs are they mainly treating for? If you can do that, then you're going to start accumulating kind of leverage so that you can actually present a better solution. But if you have no problem, there's no solution. So that being said, right off the rip, when they say, "Yeah, we're with Eco Shield Pest Control," we'll go, "Perfect. That's awesome. That's exactly why I'm here." Most people switched over from them before they upgraded. Write that down in your notes. Upgraded over to us. Now, with that being said, you want to find out what bugs they're treating for and how long they've been with them for. Generally speaking, in door to door, if there's a person that's been with a company for over 2 years, you are 1000% in the clear to not worry about a cancellation fee. If it's within 18 months or 12 months, you might have to worry about that because a lot of door-to-door companies are selling, 12-month, 18-month, or 24 months. What are you guys? Somebody comment in the chat what you guys are currently selling. Is it 12? Is it 24? Is it 18? Is it 36? Somebody comment right there what you guys shoot to hit every time. 24, 24. Okay, beautiful. So basically, if you guys are going to be doing 18 because it's the highest retention. Beautiful. Okay. So what I'm going to do as a door-to-door guy, just one little nugget for you guys. If you guys have the option to do 36, fantastic. You can roll out 36, drop to 24, drop to 18. Mitch and Yogi, that's something we can talk about later, but if you don't have it in the app, 36 month is fantastic too. Who cares if you get paid more on that or not? It just doesn't matter. I don't want more money. I just want to have the opportunity to have more price drops, okay? Or to more contract length drops. So if I'm rolling out my contracts, by the way, this summer, I'm going to roll out 36, drop 24, drop 18 if I need to. Okay. Little nugget right there. But I'm going to ask them how long they've been with them, what bugs they mainly were treating for, and then I'll try to find out how much they're paying. But if I can find out those three things, I'm in a really good spot to kind of create some sort of package for this customer. Okay. Now, the second step, and I'm gonna copy and paste this over to Yogi and Mitch. And then they can take it and put it into their own group, you guys' group chat, okay? What I'm about to go over is I won't go over into the Trojan horse stuff. You guys will learn about that more in the course. But there's a method that I use to try to get my foot in the door a little bit smoother. But we're just going to keep it very basic today. Some of the stuff I sent you guys alludes to some of the more advanced stuff, but I want you to really pay attention today just so you can get the basic stuff. The second thing that we're going to do in a switchover scenario is we're going to box in the company as soon as possible. So everybody mute themselves and you can repeat after me. So you're going to go, as you know, with ABC Company, they just do the base and they just do the inside. That's it. They're not a bad company. That's just what they do. So I know everybody's muted. I just want everybody to repeat after me because the best way I can get engagement with a group of 86 people is for you guys to actually do this with me. Comment a 4 in the chat if you're listening. Okay. I'll know who's listening based off of that. You can do a 4. I will know who's listening. Comment a 4 in the chat if you're listening. Beautiful. Thank you guys. So you're going to say this with me. You're going to go, as you know, with ABC Company, they just do the base and they just do the inside. That's it. Now, they're not a bad company. That's just what they do. Guys, what happens if I start talking crap on another company? Somebody's unmuted. Go ahead and say what happens to the customer's confidence if I start talking crap
Defensive
on
real
the company?
quick.
They get defensive extremely quickly. What happens to their buying confidence if I just start saying that they made a bad decision? Well, now they're not going to want to make another decision because I just told them their decision-making ability is crap. So that's why I box in and at the same time, I'm bolstering their decision-making ability. All of you guys have access to the switchovers, the videos. Go watch these. You'll notice how often I compliment the person on their decision-making ability because I want their confidence to be really high. Okay. Now, some of you guys might be asking, well, dude, I mean, I'm going to try to box in a door-to-door company. How do I do that if we literally all say the same thing? Guys, I've built a full business off of training door-to-door sales reps. And the reason I can do that is because we all say the same stuff generally. Okay. Maybe a company does one thing different. I don't know. But like generally speaking, we all have the same pitch, the yard, the base, the eaves, the inside, and the garage. Okay. So in order so that I don't have to blatantly lie when I'm trying to do a box in for a door-to-door company, I'm going to say the following. Everybody repeat after me. I'm going to do it line by line. So I'm going to use certainty, by the way, because a lot of you guys right now, you'll say, correct me if I'm wrong, but no. Okay. Are you wrong? No. You're the expert. A confused mind always says no. Nobody has any idea what the hell their pest control company does anyways. So how are they going to correct you if you're wrong if they don't even know what their company does? Okay. So we're going to say the following. We're going to go, okay, so we're going to go, I know for a fact that when ABC door-to-door company comes out for you, they do the base of the home and the inside every time. There's certainty there. Is there anything else they do for you on a consistent basis, or does that about cover everything? With a good head nod. Okay. I'm going to get about 80% to 95% of people to be like, oh, yeah, that covers everything. Perfect. Now perception is reality. Now I get to kind of pull on that perception because the customer only thinks that their company does the base and the inside. I'm not a Moxie sales rep. I'm not an EcoShield sales rep. I'm not, I'm not an Anthem sales rep. If I'm selling for EnviroGuard, my job is not to make all these other door-to-door companies sound fantastic. My job is to play off perception. Well, great. Like if I were trying to date somebody and there was another girl looking into another guy, okay? A girl looking into another guy, and she was like, yeah, I don't really know a whole lot about him. I'm like kind of talking to him right now. I wouldn't be like, oh, well, he is really cool. Like he does do all this really fun stuff. No. Cool. I'm gonna take whatever you think. Okay, cool. Well, you should go with me because I'm doing all this other stuff. Okay. So perception is reality. I'll do that one more time. Comment a three if you have repeated after me. Okay. Like I want to know who's actually doing this. So don't just comment a three if you're listening. Comment a three if you're actually repeating after me right now. Okay. So you're going to go, I know for a fact that when door-to-door company comes out for you, they do the base of the home and the inside every time. Now, is there anything else they do for you on a consistent basis, or does that about cover everything with a good old head nod? Now, you're going to get them to be like, oh, yeah, that covers everything. Cool. We got them boxed in. The metaphor I want you guys to remember is when we box in a company, we're trying to get them in an iron box, not a cardboard box, because you can break out of that. I want there to be complete certainty. That's why I beg all of you guys, for the love of all the sales gods, just to never say, correct me if I'm wrong, just out the window forever. Okay? You're gonna go, so we're gonna do both together one more time. This is making an iron box that we're getting them in so that there's no confusion and there's extreme clarity. We're all gonna do this together. We have 86 people all around the world say this at the same time. We're gonna do the door-to-door one first, and this is actually on the template that I sent to Yogi and Mitch that they sent to y'all, hopefully by now. Okay, so it's gonna go, as you know, with ABC Company, look at my body language too. They just do the base and they just do the inside. That's it. Now they're not a bad company, that's just what they do. Okay? Now let's do a door-to-door one. I'm going to go, I know for a fact that when door-to-door company comes out for you, they do the base of the home and the inside every time. Now, is there anything else they do for you guys on a consistent basis, or does that about cover everything? And cut. Are there any questions on this box in and why it's so important to use? As you know, they just do the base, they just do the inside, that's it. And I know for a fact they do the base of the home and the inside every time. Is there anything else they do for you on a consistent basis, or does that about cover everything? Cool. If there's any questions, please ask it now. Unmute yourself because this is a very
Quick,
important part of the sales process. I want you guys to remember.
quick
Fire
question.
away.
What about when they tell you my guy does the whole yard?
Awesome. Let's roll. Okay. So I'm glad that you asked this. I typically get this question right about now. So go ahead and role play it with me really quick. I don't know who's talking because I can't see everybody, but I'm going to go ahead and try to box in, and you're going to give me some pushback, okay? You ready?
Got
So,
it.
are you going to be a door-to-door company or a regional company?
Just
You care?
regional company.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. So, as you know, now I'm going to use the as you know because I know it's a regional one. Okay, well, let's say you're with Massey, whatever. I don't know. Okay, so as you know with Massey, they just do the base and they just do the inside. That's it. Now they're not a bad company, man. That's just what they do. Now the reason, kind of jump in and try to cut me
Hey,
off if you can.
I see my guy out here in the yard as well. He sprays the yard too.
Yeah, gotcha. So what you're noticing there is he'll do a spot treatment and he'll go about 5 feet out. The difference with me is I'm actually going to go step, 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 step. I'm actually going to go a full 30 feet out for you every time. What they're doing, by the way, it's more of a spot treatment, meaning, they'll treat the ants right here and then they pop up over there, kind of like playing whack-a-mole. What I'm going to do for you every single time, man, is actually going to be a full blanket treatment every time, if that makes sense. So yeah, they're doing some stuff in the yard. They're just not doing that full 30 feet. Anyways, the reason why you're still going to see, okay, cool. So this is called, if you box in the company and toothpaste, I always say, my grandpa always says, if toothpaste starts coming out of the tube, it's really hard to put back in. My job right here is I want to keep toothpaste in the tube. I don't want anything to escape that box. So if they're like, yeah, no, 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 my guy brushes down the eaves. I've seen that. I'll go, exactly. I'm glad that they're doing that for you. The thing with them is they'll knock them down, Mr. Customer, and then what happens 2 or 3 weeks later? They come right back, right? It's just because they're not putting a product on that brush bowl. That's why they just keep coming back. What I'm going to do is actually going to leave a pheromone on there. That way they're not coming back to the spot, if that makes sense. Anyways, and I use the word anyways and I keep going into my pitch. Does that make sense? Garrett says, notice Austin took back control and filled dead gaps. Step, 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 step. Master salespeople control the narrative and direct the conversation in a comfortable way. Beautiful. So I didn't let that totally catch me off guard. I promise you guys that you're going to have a pitch this summer where you try this box in and they're going to be like, well, no, no, no. The guy told me that he does the yard. I'm like, yeah, totally. They'll do more of a spot treatment. And that's why when they treat the ants, they go away for a little bit and then they come right back. I do a lot of snapping fingers to kind of paint a picture there, okay? That's why they'll treat the ants where they are, and then what happens 2 or 3 weeks later? They come right back, right? So that's why we absolutely need to do that full blanket treatment all the way around the yard, 30 feet out, if that makes sense. Anyways, and I'm moving on. Okay, I'm taking control of the conversation. I'm not letting them tell me all this other stuff that the company does. Because the reality is, I'll get hit with that not very often, okay? And when I do, though, my job is to keep the box tight. Does that make sense, whoever asked that question? It
Perfect
does?
answer. Thank you so
Okay,
much.
beautiful. Thank you for asking it because I guarantee you there are another 50 people on the call that were thinking it. Okay, good job. There's never such
I've
thing as a
been
bad question. I think I shared. Go ahead. Go ahead. Who's got one?
Oh, sorry. I do. I've been running into a lot of like, I go with small local company and I've been with them for a long time. I'm happy with what I have, even though there's like tons of signs that like they've got tons of bugs. They just don't care because they're happy with what they have.
Yeah. And listen, Mr. Customer, I'm glad that you're happy with them. And you didn't make a bad decision, by the way. The only thing that concerns me, just because you're still seeing some of these spiders right here in the eaves, are there any on the inside or are they just the ones out here? Keep going with me. Are there any on the inside or are they just the ones out here?
Um, I I think they're just right there. My wife
Okay.
thinks I think she said something about something. I don't know.
So let me just tell you this. You didn't make a bad decision by going with local guy. I mean, he is a nice guy. He takes care of a lot of people out here. The thing with him is you already knew this. Everybody write that down in your notes. You already knew this, or as you know, or as you probably already knew. You already knew this. I'm inceptioning thoughts into your head, okay? You didn't make a bad decision going with local guy. The thing is, you already knew this. With them, they're just treating the base and they're just treating the inside. And they're not a bad company, sir. That's just what they do. See how I'm boxing in still?
Hmm.
Let me now we're gonna go to step three because this is a perfect segue into step three. I need to pin a problem to the current company. That's step three on that template that Yogi and Mitch just sent to you. Now, the reason you're still going to see these spiders up here is because Mr. Customer, they're not treating the yard. Nothing bad on them. If I really feel like I need to protect local guy's reputation, I'll be like, hey, nothing bad on local guy. The thing is, the reason you're still seeing these webs up here is because they're not treating the yard. And let's be real, where do the bugs come from? The yard,
The
right?
yard. Yeah.
And so over time, what's going to happen, Mr. Customer, is if they're not treating the yard, those egg sacs, this is where it's so important to get good at storytelling. So do you guys see where in that point three it says, so what's going to happen is, and then I literally just put insert story. What I'm about to tell you guys is not scripted at all. I have a lot of stories in my brain that I can pull from, but generally speaking, telling a story about how bugs are going to overtake a house is pretty easy. You talk about egg sacs, infestations, bugs pushing up into wall voids, and showing up all over their home. So watch this. Now, the reason you're still going to see those spiders throughout the summer, and they're going to get worse over these next couple of weeks, is just because they're not treating the yard. So what's going to happen is those spiders come from the yard. They actually get up into the eaves, kind of like what you're seeing right now, Mr. Customer. Those egg sacs are going to hatch. That's how they start getting into the attic. That's how they drop inside the bedrooms. And that's why you've seen the occasional one right now. But listen, it's only March 19th. Give it 2 or 3 weeks, and these spiders are going to be completely different. Okay. We're going to start noticing a lot more. Listen, my whole job is just to get ahead of that for you so it doesn't become a big issue. Cut. Whoever asked me that question, did you feel like there was some story that was painted right there?
Definitely.
Okay, products tell stories what? Do you know this one? If you don't worry.
No.
Yeah, okay, this is good. You'll always remember this. I want you to repeat after me. Products tell, stories sell. Just you say it.
Products tell, stories sell.
There you go. Do
Yeah.
people buy because of my web poll, or do they buy because of what the web poll does?
It's because of what they does. Yeah.
There you go. Okay. Knowing you
And
well,
then
WWDC
I
thing.
assume if they're just hard on like, no, I've been with them for 30 years. I don't care if you guys are doing something better. That's just to get to the next door,
So
right?
let me just talk about this a little bit. There's some people that will buy from you because they trust you. So if I know they've been with a local guy for a long time, one of the first things that I'm going to do is show my reviews. So from what I understand, I just read some of Garrett's stuff the other day. EnviroGuard is family owned. Is that accurate? Right? So I'm going to be talking about that a lot. It's family owned, right? We're a family owned company. Dude, if I'm meeting somebody that likes that, I'm gonna spin it the way they like it.
Mhm.
But yeah, hey, I'm glad we're also a family-owned company, so we know everybody out here is working really hard. Thing with local guy is, you know this, as you know, they just do the base and they just do the inside. That's it. Now, man, they're not a bad company. You made a good choice. That's just what they do. And then I go to step three. Now, the reason you're still gonna see these spiders throughout the year is just because they're not treating the yard. And Susan, where do the bugs come from? Right? The yard. And so that's why they're pushing up into the house. They're getting up into these eaves right here. Now, Susan, are these getting inside or are they just out here on the outside? Engagement. I don't care what they say. I'm just like, if they say inside, I've got more ammunition. Like, cool. So what I don't want to have happen is those drop into the eaves, get into the attic, and eventually make their way inside the house. Because we both know, give it 2 or 3 weeks, it's going to get really, really bad out here with the bugs. Cut. Do you see how I'm still controlling the conversation, my friend?
Yeah.
Okay, are all three of these steps, just because I'm talking to you right now, and I guarantee you you have the same questions other people have.
Yeah.
Is this all making sense? Step one, find out what company they have, what company they are, how long they've been with them, and what bugs they're treating for. Are we on the same page there?
Yes.
And if I struggle to get engagement in the beginning, what's one thing I said that we can do to get higher engagement right off the rip? Do you remember this?
Walk of faith, if I
There you
believe.
go. Walk of faith. Get them
Yeah.
moving. Guys, you can do anything for walk of faith. You can be like, hey, come look at this right here and get them outside the door. Very good. Okay,
Hmm.
step two, we need a box in the company. If they're a door-to-door company, we do it differently than if they're a regional company. And then step three, we're going to pin a problem to the current company. Comment A7 if you're listening and actively paying attention to this right now. Okay? Beautiful. All right. So now we're going to go to step four. This doesn't necessarily need to happen in the same order every time. I just tend to do this in this order. Guys, I'm a big framework guy. I care that you understand how customers buy. I have a script that you guys have access to, and it has all my word tracks. You're going to find pretty quickly that you can't always stick to that. By the way, it's super important that you have that script memorized word for word. But you will find that life happens and it's not always easy to stay on script the whole time. So I care that you understand the framework. And one of the very important parts of a switchover is if you don't tell them that it's easy to switch, subconsciously, they're always going to be thinking, oh, this is a big hassle. Guys, it's hard to get people to do anything in life. Let me share a quick example. Yesterday, there was that guy that he was like, "Oh no, 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 I'm not gonna buy." We sold him a mosquito plan yesterday. Okay, if you guys saw my story, I had a ton of just junk in my car because of this. But he's like, "Yeah, yeah, we don't want to do this right now. Before we do it, we want to get rid of all these coolers because they have standing water in them." And dude, homeboy had like cigarette butts that had filled up with water, and I almost vomited. Okay. But dude, I did whatever it took to get the deal because he's like, no, I want to get rid of all this stuff first. And I'm like, hey, dude, is that the only thing? That's the only thing holding you back? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, perfect. We'll take care of all of it. I backed my Cybertruck in. The homeboy had a Cybertruck, but he's just too lazy to do this, even though they've been meaning to do it forever. And so this is a great metaphor here. When I told him that I was going to take out all the junk and the coolers and the gardening tools that he didn't need anymore in a fish tank, it was disgusting, okay? When I told him I was going to get rid of this, he was like, really? You would do that for me? Guys, it took me 10 minutes to load up all this junk. And he was so excited that I took that job off his hands. Somebody speak out loud how this might apply to a pest control switchover when you tell them that you're going to take the job off their hands. Somebody just
Gains
jump in.
trust.
Trust. Okay, cool. Good. Okay, so he trusts me now, and he's also like, dude, Austin's going to cancel out my company for me. Let's go. I don't even have to worry about that. So people really appreciate it when it's done for you type model. They trust you more. They're like, "Oh, he's going to do everything for me." If you'll notice, like you'll as you start to do this more often during the summer, you'll notice that when friends tell their friends about you, they're like, "Oh yeah, yeah, he'll help you cancel out your other company. Don't even worry about it." That's one of the selling points. You need to tell them the following thing. Everybody, make sure you're muted and repeat after me. Hey, and by the way, assuming you were to switch, it's super simple, super easy, and I take care of the whole thing. I have this little template. All you do is copy, paste, and send it over to them. That's it. You don't even need to call them. Cut. If you're a rookie here, you're gonna go, you don't even need to call them. Anyways, let me just show you what I'm doing. And you're gonna go straight into your service pitch. If you're a vet, you can attempt to send off a template early on. For purposes of this call, to make sure that everybody's on the same page, I'm not going to go into the Trojan horse template send off. If you want to learn more about that, go watch some of my role plays and pay attention to how I send off templates pretty freaking early because I want to get all their information. If I find out that this is the only thing I'll say about this, if they're willing to let me get their name, their phone number, their email, and their address right off the rip, to send them a template to see what it would look like if they were to cancel, dude, they're gonna roll over when I close them at the end. So this is just like a temp check. Okay. So that's enough when I'm going to talk about the Trojan horse stuff. But they do need to know that and the reason I call it Trojan horse, last thing, is because the Trojan horse's downfall, the Trojans Their downfall was this thing called the Trojan horse, which was a gift that was given to them. And inside it was this massive horse. Inside that horse were all these warriors that when the Trojan horse got inside the city walls, they got out and they took over the city. Well, it's kind of similar with this template, right? I send a template over to their phone with all their information. Little do they know, in about 5 minutes, I'm going to take that template, copy and paste it from their messages, and drop it into their Gmail, and they're cooked. They're done. They don't have a company no more, and they're with me now. So go on the course. You guys all have access to that if that piques your interest. If you're a rookie, bear with me, stay with me here, okay? So everybody repeat that with me one time. Now, assuming you were to switch, super simple, super easy, and I take care of the whole process. I have this little template. All you do is copy, paste, and send it over to them. That's it. You don't even need to call them. And anyways, let me just show you what we're doing for all your neighbors. And then I'm going to go into, you see out here in the yard, now I'm into the service pitch where I minimize, maximize. Type something that you've learned thus far in the chat right now so I can make sure that you guys are keeping engagement, not just passively listening. So if I've done all four of these steps, I really feel like I'm in a great position to do a switchover scenario because I have leverage. I know I box in the company, right? I know who they're with. I've boxed in the company and now I have leverage. I've told them if you don't do anything differently, you're going to get more bugs, basically. And guys, if they don't have an issue, this is a great question that typically comes up. If they don't have a blatant issue, the only thing that's going to change on step 3 is the reason you're gonna start seeing those instead of the reason you're seeing those. I'm going to say the reason you're going to start seeing those ants again is because they're not treating the yard. And where do the bugs come from? The yard. Cut. So guys, these 4 steps are crucial to your switchover process. If you can make sure to integrate them into your pitch, you will do incredibly well. Notice though, I'm not afraid to give away some pieces of value so that they know that I'm different, but I'm making sure that they know that their company just does one thing. They just do the base and the inside. They're going to have an issue with that, and it's easy to switch. If for some reason I forget to tell them it's easy to switch and I'm already mid-service, I'll just say, oh, and by the way, assuming you even were to switch, super simple, super easy. I take care of the whole process. Okay, we're good on that for switchovers. Okay, I'm just going to do a quick little bit on, I want to open this up for questions right now because I promise you there are questions right now before I continue training. Okay,
Excuse me.
fire
Sorry,
away. I
I
got
don't.
somebody unmuted.
Yeah. So, about the template, you said that after you send it over to them, you send it to an email. Like, do you send it to their company or?
Yeah, so we can talk about this a little bit.
Hmm.
So if you wanted to go, how many years have you sold, my friend?
I sold last year for 3 months, and this is my
Cool.
second year.
Okay, beautiful. Okay. So we're going to talk a little bit about what you could do in the beginning, okay?
Hmm.
Just listen to me and then I'll have you listen to me and then I'll do a line by line where you repeat after me. You go with this?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So go, I'm just going to say it out loud. Now, assuming you were to switch, super simple, super easy. I take care of the whole process. I have this little template that literally all you do is copy, paste, and send it over to them, and that's it. You don't
Hmm.
even need to call them. In fact, I'll just show you what that looks like. I'm not canceling them. I just want you to see what it like would look like if you were to. What's a good number for you? I'll just shoot that over to you. I'm looking down, and I just got your phone number, and then I'm gonna go. And then how do I spell your last name, Ryan? Okay,
S
gotcha. And then what was the address here, Ryan?
Street Avenue.
Cool. Cool. And then, okay, cool. I just sent that over to you. Okay, cut. So I just basically got away with getting your first name, last name, your phone number, and your address, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
So this is only for people that have knocked for at least a year. Okay, so if you're a rookie, just entertain this, but do not let this confuse you, please. At the very end of the sales process, I already have all your information. So the only thing that I need to collect from you is an email, right? Because I have everything else.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go, hey, and then and I'll say, oh, and don't even worry about closing out ABC Company. I'll help you that with here in a second. So I remind them, and I'll go, hey, after this is over, we'll shoot you over an email receipt. What's a good email to send that to? Head down, put the email down, put the head down, and then they're gonna get everything. You sign them through all of that. You sign them up, and you're good to go. Well, now you never. This is something rookies come back with me now. Okay. Rookies, you never, ever, ever want to leave a door with a customer that has a company and is signed up with you and they've not closed out this company. And you don't want to call this company either because a rookie that has not sold yet, somebody shout out who's a rookie, unmute yourself. Somebody shout out what might happen if you leave it up to the customer to call the company. Somebody shout out.
They'll forget.
Yeah, the
Don't
company
forget.
will keep them. The company will try
Yeah.
to keep them
How are they going to keep them?
by doing the same things that we should have did, basically. Or
Okay. So they're gonna, here's what you're gonna do. I'm just gonna like paint a picture right now. If you leave it up to the customer to call, they will not switch. It's too much work for them. It's your job as a salesman to do all the heavy lifting. Now, I know traditionally some of you guys used to do all this Google Voice crap. Like that stuff sucks. Type up a template that for the customer. You're going to go to the customer's email. You're going to find the last email that they got from Moxie or EcoShield or shoot, some of you guys might run into my old Anthem accounts out in Texas. If some of you guys are down there, wherever you guys are at, in Portland, there's going to be Insight. So no matter what door-to-door company they were with, the very first email that they received when they signed up for their company was actually a contract, a PDF. If you ever need to look at their PDF to see what they signed up for, contract length, whatever. But just go to that email and typically even on the invoices, there's an email on the very corner of each email that is the email that you need to send this thing to. So basically just look up Moxie or EcoShield or Insight, whatever, and you're just going to find, Insight Pacific Northwest, right? And you're literally just going to copy and paste that template to that email. The only precaution is make sure that it's not a no reply email, right? Which that's obvious. Like if it says no reply, it's a no reply. There's no explaining on that. But the whole thing is, go ahead.
Sorry, I'm looking at your course. Where can I find the templates?
I'm just gonna send it over to you guys right now, and I'll copy and paste this. I need to find some way to give you guys like a PDF section on there, or I'll bet you know what I'll do is I'm just gonna copy and paste send this over into the you guys know the community tab on my app. I'm gonna copy paste that on the community tab. That way it's accessible to all you guys right away. That's probably the easiest way to do this. But I'll do that right now as we're speaking, okay? But it's just a template. It says, my name at this address, cancel pest services with company name as of this date. I understand I'm out of contract. Please cancel out my agreement, remove payment information, and send email confirmation. It's so funny. I get messages from some people sometimes. They're like, bro, can you send me the in contract one? Well, I'm like, yeah, but all you need to do is say, I understand I'm still in contract and that I owe X amount of dollars to cancel. Please charge the $200 to cancel. Close out my account, send email confirmation. Do not call me. Thanks. So you guys can use just be creative here when you're trying to close out a company. And let's say another example for whoever spoke is if they still want to keep the termite company and they only want the bugs with, they want to keep the company for termites and not for pest control, it's going to say, this name at this address, hereby provide this written email to cancel pest services in all caps. And then you're going to put in all caps in parentheses, not termite services as of March 19th, 2026. So you can adapt this template to whatever. In fact, I just wrote this years ago. I'm sure ChatGPT would do one cooler where you could just type in name, phone, or email. But the whole point is there just needs to be some form of written notice to cancel out the company. Because if you leave that door and they have not canceled their company, you're cooked. Okay? That's one of the telltale signs. Is it going to get serviced or not? My whole goal is when I leave that door, they should not have a company. Now they really need me, right? And I'll coach up the customer too and be like, hey, and don't answer their phone calls. They're going to beg you to stay like a desperate girlfriend. Don't even worry about it. We'll take good care of you. We'll see you tomorrow between 10 and 12. All right. Good to meet you. Have a good day. Gone. Does that make sense? So I'm going to coach up my customer as well so that they understand. Don't give them any mind. We sent the email. You're good to go. We cool with that, everybody? Yes?
And guys, it's pretty simple if you just assume it. Just say, hey, pull your phone out, type in EcoShield, go to your emails, type in EcoShield, it'll pop up. You can even here, I'll kind of help you out. You can snag their phone, you
Yep.
can copy and paste it. You can do it all right there in like 1 minute. It's
Yeah,
fast.
Mitch, you bring up a great point. Guys, you should have their phone in your hand. Okay.
Exactly. You grab it if you you just grab it. Just here. Do you mind if I grab it? I can help you out here. They're like, oh yeah, here you go, and they'll
And you
hand you their
go
phone.
and you go buddy to buddy with them pretty you go like when you do that when Mitch is talking about grabbing their phone, you go, hey, I can just show you that. And you step in buddy to buddy with them and you stick your hands out. Most of the time they're gonna hand you their phone. And then all of you guys know how to navigate. I don't know how to navigate Android, so I always get screwed over with this. But like most people have Apple. If you don't have Apple, you got to get Apple. But basically, you're going to go to the messages. You're going to copy the template that you just send on their phone. Do you see how we're simplifying this? If you're a rookie and you decided to do this later, you'll send the template over to them on the back half of the sale. After you've solidified it, you're like, "Oh yeah, and I'll help you close out ABC." And then you're going to get that template, you text it over to them. Now that it's on their phone, you literally hit copy, you go to their company, and then you hit paste, and then you hit send. Done. That sort of model of closing out a company works incredibly well. Now, I wanted to make sure I answered some questions because the stuff I'm going over right now is incredibly applicable to a lot of you guys that are selling right now. You'll use this stuff today and make more deals because of it. Okay, I'm going to copy and paste that template over to the community tab on your guys' sales training app on Mazer Sales Training. Okay, so bear with me, that'll be posted shortly. Are there any other questions that you guys have regarding switchover psychology or basically some of the very beginning phrases that you'll want to say? Any
Yeah,
other,
so
please?
you said that you start off with like assuming like if you were to switch, I make it super easy on you. I do all the work myself,
Yeah, yeah.
and then you get their information. And do you send the email? Do you send the cancellation email, but before you go into your service or
No,
after?
so if you're, how many years have you sold?
One. This
You
is
sold,
I just asked that last question. Yeah, I
okay.
sold last year, and this
Okay,
is my
good.
second year.
So this is where I'm like, if you're a rookie and you've never sold, do not send the template over to them until you're done with the sales process. All you're
Okay.
gonna do is tell them, all you're gonna do is tell them, yeah, assuming you were to switch, super simple, super easy. I take care of the whole thing for you. I'll have this template I'll send over to you later. Anyways, come check this out. Then you go into your pitch, you close them, all of that. Okay, if you're a rookie, you'll send the template after everything's said and done. We're cool with that for rookies, right? Comment a 6 in the chat if you're a rookie and that makes sense. Okay. If you're a vet and you want to try doing this, dude, and go watch my live sales on switchovers. You'll see me send the template off early occasionally where I'm like, yeah, I'll just send it to you. That way you can see what it would look like. I send it to them and then I do my full pitch. But something happens when I send them the template. They're like, oh, this is pretty easy. Like, I guess I shouldn't make a big deal out of this. And some of the objections start to dissipate, right? Because they know that it's an easy process. Does that answer your question? So the template, you don't cancel their company until later, right? You just
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
you get away with sending a template over and you're like, "Oh, dude, this guy's going to roll over because he literally just gave me all of his information without even putting up a fight." And now he sees a template on his phone and he goes, "Oh, that's it." So you'll notice, bro, a lot of times when I send the template over, I'm still buddy to buddy with him. And I'm like, yeah, pull up your phone. All you do, assuming you were to switch, is just copy, paste, and send that over. And that's it. Anyways, come look at this. And now I'm in my service mode. Does that make sense, bro?
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
Okay. The next time I train you guys, I'll do the service. So just make sure we're very clear. Today on our roadmap, we touched on the introduction and like setting expectations for switchovers. We did not train on the service portion. We did not train on price redirect close. We trained on how to send the template after you close up the customer. So there's a little bit of jump that we did there to basically help you guys understand. For those of you that are currently selling, I just wanted to make sure that you're canceling out the companies before you leave. Okay? There's a question from Zoe. Let's hear it.
Okay, this might be a silly question, but
Hey,
so
never such thing as a silly question. Don't ever say that. Never such thing.
okay. Well, within ViralGuard, so this is just like a situation. So we require like verbal confirmation to like cancel here, or so
Dude,
with
oh,
other
no, wait,
companies,
for companies cancel. So if you sell a contract, they have to cancel, they have to call in.
yeah, I'm
Dude,
like required to make like verbal confirmation with them before like making account changes or whatever. So what if like other companies with pests do that too? Am I gonna run into
they just,
situations like
there's
that?
there's very few door-to-door companies that have caught on to this. And so for now, you're gonna rock and roll. If that does happen, then you have to put up with, okay, like, hey, we're just calling in and you're going to tell that you're going to prep the customer. Let's say you have to have the customer. I have 3 minutes left, so I'm going to answer this question. That might be all I have. But from what I understand, help me understand this. I'll say correct me if I'm wrong here because I actually want understanding because I'm not the expert in this yet. For me, let's say I sign up with EnviroGuard. For me to cancel EnviroGuard, I have to call in. Is that correct?
Yes.
Beautiful. You guys are at a great company. That's freaking awesome. Okay, because it's a lot harder to switch your accounts. So good on you guys. That being said, can you still switch over these accounts? Absolutely. You're going to coach the customer through what's going to happen. Ready? So Zoe, you're my customer. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right, Zoe, now that we have you all set up, I'm going to help you close out ABC Company. So as you know, you have to call and let them know to cancel. Now, Zoe, we're going to call, and then from time to time, I might have you mute yourself just so I can coach you through it. But Zoe, they're going to call and offer to lower your bill to just $30 a month. And what are you going to tell them? No, because they should have just done that to you in the first place. We're doing a lot more for you, okay? So like when they ask you why you're switching, just tell them that you've decided to go separate ways for personal reasons. Okay? All right, you ready, Zoe? Okay, let's do it. Okay, and so no salesman is going to be like, "Oh, like if you're like if I'm Zoe on the phone and I'm talking to ABC company canceling out my account, I'm going to be like, "Yeah, Zoe, ABC company, look, I just have a lot of personal reasons going on right now. I just don't really want to get into it right now. It's a lot for me." Thanks, though. Appreciate it. Can you guys please close out the account? Cut. And I'm coaching the customer through that the whole time. Or another good one is I have a really good friend that started their own company. I'm going to go with my friend. That's like a tough one to overcome if you're like
I
over
heard
10.
that yesterday. Someone said that to me yesterday.
Good, good, good. So if you do that, are you on the retention side of this, by the way, Zoe?
All right. Yeah, just in the meantime.
Okay, so Zoe, if you're trying to save these accounts, you can message me and we can come up with a fun thing. Okay. Um, but yeah, does that answer your question though?
Yeah, I guess it's also just more of like, would you call like, say that they did need like confirmation or whatever before they can do that, like how we would? Would you call the company with the customer right then and there? Like, when in the process would you do
Yeah, I
that?
mean, if I need to call in, there's a strategy there where I might be like, let me see, I'm sending this over to you. Okay.
I think as you get better, as you get better, Zoe, part of it will be the customer's temperature and how
Yeah,
like sensitive they are to the situation. If you
Okay.
do it right then and there with them or not, if that
templates
makes
right there.
sense.
Yeah, I mean, guys, there's part of me that would rather, part of me is like, hey, don't even call. So Urbanex says that. I'd be like, yeah, don't even call till we get service tomorrow because I don't want you to have to put up with all this stuff. And then I might send a text message to them the next day. Why? Because now they're signed up with me, they're stuck with me, and then I'm telling them to go call them later.
There you
Yeah.
go.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna coach
that's an
them through
option
it.
too.
Yeah, so I'll be like, last thing. So yeah, this is a good new strategy for this, Zoe. If I'm trying to cancel out another company that requires verbal confirmation, I'm gonna say, hey, your service is ready for tomorrow. Get the service, and then afterwards, I'll just remind you to send a text message. I'll remind you to close them out, but don't worry about that right now. We'll just get you on the route for now, and then you can close them out tomorrow after the service is over.
Kind of like
Why?
jump
Because
over it.
Yeah.
now they're hooked with me, they're hooked with them, but now they're already committed with me, so they're going to cancel them pretty easily. Okay, so that's just an idea. But yeah, guys, that's all I have for you today. I have to go directly to my role play call. So if you did end up joining that in this last hour, then message me ASAP. And I'm literally about to hop right into another call.
We
So
appreciate you,
guys,
Mazer.
Mazer
I
the
love
goat.
training with you guys.
Let's
Hey,
go.
good seeing you guys today. We'll talk
Hey.
soon.
Appreciate you. Hey everyone, couple just to put a plug in for EnviroGuard real quick. If you're out selling, you should have ultimate confidence in the service. I made like 10 to 15 calls last week with reps that sold for different companies over the years and just said, "Hey, real feedback, like hit me with how it's going, how's the service, how are the apps?" And they were floored and blown away at the attention to detail and the care from the service pros. The other thing that you need to realize that EnviroGuard does is they set aside more time than a lot of the companies that we've came from and people have been working for the service pro to do the service. So when you're talking and they say, "Oh, my guy comes, he does the yard too." Yes, he does 1000%, but he's spot treating. The biggest difference with us is the attention to detail and the time allotted for him to come out here because we're going to do the entire yard. That's why you're still seeing the occasional spider, whatever the hot button is, right? But that was a phenomenal training by Mazer. So I hope you guys took notes. And more importantly than that, I hope you guys apply them. Yogi touched on it. It's all about reps. Reps, 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 reps. If you just don't go out there and you don't practice and you just show up, you're going to be behind the 8 ball. So get the reps in. You have to get the reps in. You have to practice. You have to role play, ask questions, and show up on the calls. Like keep showing up. That's huge. So does anyone have any questions?
Yeah. What is the new APRUV app that you made us sign up for last night? What is the point of that?
The approve. So
Yeah, the
after you sell somebody, what we're doing as a company, and this is phenomenal, is you're going to pull up this it's called a welcome video, where it's an AI person that's going to go through the terms of the contract with the customer, just getting them to make sure they understand everything right before you leave. It takes 1 minute. So you're going to pull it up and just say, "Hey, we're going to go through this welcome video. Just make sure you understand everything, and that way, if not, we can clear things up." You pull up the video, and we're going to do a full training on that. But just make sure you sign up on that. That's our next training is on the approve welcome video call with the customer. It's
okay,
going to be
cool.
really, really good. It helps retention a ton, and it helps so that when they call in, they can't cancel as easy either.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's going to be
With all
money.
the material that Austin was talking about, like the scripts that he's saying, like the one that he sends out and all of that, where do we find that material? I saw he sent in the like switch over cancellation text he was
Yeah,
talking
we'll
about.
we'll send it all to the group me right now, and
Okay.
then just make sure you join and you're on his app. If you're not on his app, we'll send those instructions again. Are you on his app?
Yeah, I've got all that.
Okay,
I even pinned his
cool.
website to my home screen
Let's
too.
go.
Hey
Let's
Mitch.
go. Yeah, go ahead.
So I actually have a cancellation template. I can send it to like Yogi or something, and he can send it in the group chat too.
Dude, do it right now. Yeah, send it to Yogi and we'll text it into the group me.
Yeah, I got you. I send it to all my guys. It's really nice to have.
Yeah, guys, the cancellation, the text that you should text the customer after that, all should be saved in your notes. So easy access where you can grab it. And when you're with the customer at the end, you buddy up here, grab their phone from them. Money, dude. So yeah, send that over and we'll send it in. That's perfect.
gotcha.
Thank you.
Hey guys, one thing I'll add really quick. This is Nate. If you guys get to the point where you're telling a customer you're going to do something, whether it's like canceling an account or whatever, if the template doesn't work, make sure you actually follow through with that. So the worst thing can happen is the worst thing can happen is like Austin was saying, "Hey, I'm going to clean out your coolers for you." And let me just get a service started. I'll clean out your coolers for. And then he doesn't do it. That guy's going to cancel. Same thing. If I'm going to cancel your account, make sure you follow it up, dude. My rookie year, I had probably a list of 40 people that I promised I'd call and cancel. And when I had to actually go and do it, I was like, to swallow that pill, I'm like, crap, I got to call 40 accounts and cancel them. It sucks. But do it in the moment. Do it right then. Like just stay on top of it. Because if people call the office and say, "Hey, so-and-so came by and said they're going to cancel my account," they didn't, we lose about 80% of those customers. Like they're not going to stick around.
Worse, and even worse than that is if you don't follow through and they start getting double billed, they are furious.
Yeah, it's gonna cause problems.
They are
Yeah.
pissed off. Like
Yeah.
that they're gonna go online and leave a negative review because the sales rep lied to them. So if you tell the customer, that's really, really good advice that you're gonna do it, freaking do it, and just do it on the spot.
Yeah.
And so guys, by the way, my name is Bridger. I literally, it takes you like 20 seconds. Like you can
Yep.
do it right with them. You can do it right in front of them. As soon as you guys are done scheduling them, just hurry and cancel it. Because guess what? Now, if their company calls them and tries to like lower their price, they've already canceled them, so they can't cancel on you because they need someone for pest control. And also, like, you guys have worked so hard to get the sale. Don't mess up on one little thing and forget to do something like a cancellation template and lose all of that work that you just did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bridger,
Just had to say that.
how's your experience been out there with the service pros and with everything?
Oh, dude. EnviroGuard's one of the most dialed companies I've ever sold for. This place is amazing.
Bridger,
Let's
how
go.
many companies have you sold for?
I've sold for 7 different companies. With the Grit, we market for a lot. And literally, out of every company I've ever sold for, the most dialed techs, Nate and Luke are the most dialed owners I've ever been a part of. Like, this is literally the best place I've ever been a part of. Seriously.
Guys, lock in. I'm telling you, freaking love that. Bridger had a huge day yesterday. He's
Hey,
cooking.
Bridger's gonna do a night training for us on Monday too. So get excited because he's got some.
Let's
Come
go. Let's go. But guys, we appreciate everyone. Show up. Like biggest advice, obsess, show up and apply it. And we're gonna have the biggest summer that we've ever had. So we're excited. But yeah, look out for the group me. Thanks for jumping on.
Yeah, everybody.
Peace.